Yo, what's up, Taurus? Welcome to your monthly forecast for the month of March 2016. For the first, or basically for the first 3 weeks of March, the sun is going to be in the sign of Pisces. Pisces for you as a Taurus is your 11th house. The 11th house has to do with your friendships and it has to do with your social situation. So on March 21st, the sun actually moves out of this area and it moves into Aries, which is your 12th house. So while the sun is in Pisces for basically that first 3 weeks up until the 21st, you're going to have a lot more social activity in your life. You're going to be hanging out with your friends more. There's going to be a lot more good times on the social front. So definitely something to look forward to there. When you see, or when the sun shifts into Pisces on the 21st of March, you're going to actually see a change. Don't be alarmed by this. You're going to probably feel more introspective because the 12th house is the last house of the zodiac for you. The sign of Aries is the last house of the zodiac for you. That's more of an introspective area. So if you're having a good time for the first 3 weeks of March and then all of a sudden closer to the end of March hits and you start to feel a little bit more self-reflective, more self-contemplative, don't be alarmed by this. It's perfectly natural for when the sun shifts into this area. That's the type of effect it tends to have on people. On March 5th, Mars moves into the sign of Sagittarius. That is your 8th house. Sagittarius is your 8th house. The 8th house has to do with shared ventures, shared finances, pretty much like anything that you share with someone else. So basically everything that has to do with your shared resources. It also has to do with your sex life, and Mars is the planet of power. It's the planet of ambition, and it has a tendency to amplify things a lot wherever it goes. So this could be really great for your sex life. You're going to be finding yourself in many more situations that are, highly passionate. So that's definitely something to look forward to. Regarding your shared resources, some of the negative aspects of Mars are that it can be kind of an aggressive planet. So there may be some heated moments regarding your shared resources if you have a significant other that maybe you live with or whatever. You share your money. You share your everything, and there could be some disagreements regarding that during this time after Mars moves into Sagittarius on March 5th. On March 8th, there's a new moon solar eclipse in Pisces, and once again, Pisces is that area that has to do with your friendships, and it has to do with your social life. A solar eclipse has to do with a significant life event. Solar eclipses, this is a new moon solar eclipse. So being that it's a new moon, the new moon's kind of like a trigger. So it's happening in this area of friendships. It's happening in this social area. So whatever's new is going to be building and building and building for the next 6 months until it finally reaches the culminating full moon 6 months down the road, which is whatever it is in your social life and your friendship situation, it's going to finally come to fruition there. And because it is a solar eclipse, solar eclipses don't happen very often, so solar eclipses indicate significant life events that are part of your fate. So something has to do with your friendships and your social situation. There's going to be a very important event that's part of your fate that's going to be building for the next 6 months after that on March 8th. So look out for that. On March 14th, Mercury, the planet of communication, is in the sign of Pisces. Here we are again. Pisces, your social area, your friendship area. And it's actually making a challenging aspect here to Saturn, which is in Sagittarius. Once again, Sagittarius is your 8th house. That area that has to do with your shared resources. It has to do with your shared finances, whatever you share with another person, whether it's personal or professional. So here we have your communication regarding your friendships and an area that has to do with maybe your shared resources. Maybe there's somebody who wants to partner their resources with you. They could be somebody from your circle of friends who's trying to connect with you and partner their resources with yours. And it's kind of a challenging, maybe a challenging thing, a challenging conversation that you guys are having. Maybe you don't even want to do it. But this, whoever it is in your friends, they want to partner their resources with yours, and it could be looked at as, this aspect could be looked at as transformative too, though. So maybe this is something you might be interested in. Then there's going to be a transformation that occurs between you and that person, and then how you guys are going to develop whatever it is that you want to work on together. How you're going to partner your resources with that. Another way to look at this is Saturn in your 8th house, Sagittarius, and challenging aspect to Mercury in Pisces. It could be that with that eighth house thing has to do with your sex life. So maybe somebody in your group of friends is communicating to you that they're interested in you like that, and because it's a challenging aspect, maybe you're just kind of like and it's kind of awkward. And so that's something to look forward, or excuse me, that's something to look out for, not look forward to, obviously, on March 14th and following that event. On March 23rd, the full moon lunar eclipse in Libra. Libra is your 6th house. That has to do with your works, your daily, or excuse me, has to do with your work, your daily life, and your health. It's a lunar eclipse. Here we go again. 2nd eclipse in 1 month. So March is a pretty big month for significant astrological events. Eclipses have to do with your fate, absolutely. And something is set to change big time on March 23rd and following that event regarding your work, daily life, and health. So make sure you remember that date because it's pretty important, March 23rd and following that event. On March 29th, Mercury's going to be in the sign of Aries now on March 29th. And for you, Aries is your 12th house. That's the house of completions, conclusions, introspection. Sometimes it has to do with endings. I'm not saying that every Taurus is going to have some kind of ending of some sort, but that the 12th house is the area of the things that I just listed, and it's actually making a positive aspect to Saturn in Sagittarius. Here we are again, that 8th house that has to do with your shared resources, your shared finances, and your sex life. So Mercury is the planet of communication, and in your 12th house, the 12th house is kind of hidden. So, and this is a good aspect to Saturn in your 8th house that has to do with your sex. So maybe there's like some hidden conversations or some private conversations that you might be having with your significant other, about sex, and it's very positive. Or they could be these hidden conversations about how you share your resources with another. So yeah, maybe you're having a private conversation with the person that you share your resources with, and this conversation is very beneficial. March 29th, remember that. March 30th, Mercury in Aries, once again, this 12th house, and making a challenging aspect, or it could be transformative, but challenging or transformative aspect to Pluto in Capricorn, which is your 9th house of faraway places. And 9th house also has to do with spirituality. So it's interesting because the 12th house has to do a little bit with spirituality too. So here we are with Mercury in your 12th house, and you may be having some sort of hidden conversation with someone far away regarding spiritual matters. For example, you could be watching this video. I'm here in the Philadelphia area in Pennsylvania. You could be watching this video from like California or wherever, like somewhere really far away, and maybe this is challenging for you. Maybe you're like, I don't understand what this guy is talking about. So that's definitely a possibility. Or it could be transformative. You could be talking to somebody far away, having a private conversation with somebody far away about spiritual matters, and you're like, wow, like this is amazing, and it's like really changing your outlook on spiritual matters. On the March 31st, Mercury in Aries once again actually makes what's called a conjunction with Uranus. That's when the two planets actually align. So Mercury, the planet of communication, now conjunction is a positive thing, and Uranus is the planet of serendipity. It's this planet of the unexpected and surprises. So maybe all of a sudden, like if you were having a challenging moment the day before, about that spiritual conversation. Maybe all of a sudden now you're having a breakthrough and you're like, wow, like what is this? Now all of a sudden, like it's a very positive thing that's being talked about in this private discussion, or it's just you even just figured out something yourself. So that's all I got for you this month, Taurus. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe and like. But I'll definitely see you guys next month, and thanks again for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.